This is so nice. Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger. I haven't heard that name in years. It's one of those games where I played and forgot about it. Until now. Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger was made by Chrome Studios and released on October 2002 for GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2, baby. And later, an HD remaster released for the Switch in 2020. Which at the time I didn't know and randomly found on the eShop while looking for Laid Back Camp Virtual. I vividly remember playing this game when I was younger and not getting past the first few levels, but the music and gameplay hit me with a wave of nostalgia once I started the game. The story revolves around Ty, a Tasmanian tiger, retrieving these talismans to bring back his family, who were transported away by the main antagonist Boss Chaos. You might be asking, what the hell is a Tasmanian tiger? Well, there were a species of marsupial who were brought to extinction by humans. Just add that to the list of things humans have done to Mother Nature. The game takes place in the Australian outbacks, which gives the game its distinct theme. Each character in the game speaks in English but with an Australian accent and slang. To me, the dialogue really sets the Australian setting because if the character just spoke normally in English, the dialogue would be quite boring and skippable. The character that best simplifies this is Maury? How the fuck do you say that? Maury is there to teach you how to learn a new move or give you advice on what to do.
Here's some free advice. Certain enemies deflect your rangs with their thick skins, but are hopeless against those pearly whites of yours. So sometimes you have to bite the bad guy. Listen, mate, I solved your problem. I found you a second boomerang.
That's great. Where is it?
See that tree over there?
Yeah?
Well, it's not there.
Fuck you! Of course, me not being familiar with Australian slang, half the time I couldn't process what he was telling me, which made the game more fun for me, because I'll have to guess what he meant by that and learn what that meant. And after doing some research, learn what some phrases meant. Alright, let's talk about gameplay. The main thing I noticed when I started playing was the weird camera angles, and sometimes level the control of the camera in areas I need the camera moved. I really didn't mind it because most 3D platformers have this issue, but the movement in the game is very nice and even. The only issue I had with the movement was that there wasn't a run option, so I couldn't speed run the stage to get one last item. The jumping was another thing I enjoyed and only had some minor issues using it.
Bruh. 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 Bruh.
The other factor that made the game in my mind good was the boomerangs. Before we talk about the in-game boomerangs, I want to bring up something I learned while researching. Historically, boomerangs were used as a projectile used for hunting and warfare. And with that information, I can't help to think that wars were fought with boomerangs. Alright, back to video game. The boomerangs, besides your bite attack, were your main offensive moves. In the game, you start off with one default boomerang until midway through the first stage, you acquire another boomerang, and now you can double wield two boomerangs. As you play more stages and collect more golden cogs, you acquire more boomerangs to your collection, which include the Aqua Rang, which lets you swim in water faster and shoot boomerangs on the water. The Frosty Rang, which lets you freeze enemies in place and destroy obstacles in your way. The Flamerang, which lets you burn enemies and also destroy obstacles in your way. The Sappy Rang, which lets you shock enemies and only main uses to unlock its last stage on the game. These boomerangs are the only boomerangs you need in the game, but if you collect more of the golden cogs, you'll unlock more boomerangs to have fun with. The two I like were the Infrarang and the Kaboomerang. The Infrarang help you find hidden and secret collectible items, and I feel like this boomerang were for the gamers who wanted to 100% the game. And last but not least, the Kaboomerang. This boomerang was essentially an RPG. Every time I used it, all the enemies in a certain area were killed off in a single shot. I guess the next thing to talk about is the sages. All the levels have something to collect, which are opals, golden cogs, bilbies, and thunder eggs. I just realized that opals and thunder eggs are just fucking rocks. As I said earlier, the golden cogs are used for unlocking boomerangs. The bilbies are kind of this game's version of Jinjos and Banjo-Kazooie. and Thunder progress the game to unlock new levels and talismans. Another thing I want to bring up is the loading screens. Because in the loading screens, the character design looks like they were designed on DeviantArt. Most of the levels are decent, but there's some that stand out to me. The first level is one of my favorite stages, mostly because it's kind of a tutorial level that teaches you the mechanics of the game. And also the music, that sent me a nostalgic wave of memories I forgot about. Another level is Outback Safari, where instead of walking around, you get to ride around the first boss you fought, catch the damn emus, and destroy property. And like I said earlier, the music really sets the tone for this whole stage.
This is it, the wide open outback. What a glorious view! Lots of sand, red earth and rock, and some more sand, and another rock, and more. Yes, it's glorious, all right.
Damn emus. Motherfucker. Get back here. There's also levels I really didn't like. Two of them were the water levels, and the other was Liar Liar Pants on Fire, in which you follow a liar bird giving you directions. But as you guessed from the name of the level, the bird is lying to you and you have to do the opposite way he says. When I was playing this level, I didn't know whether to follow or go against his directions, and because of that, I had to replay the level to get out the collectibles. And now to the boss battles. There are 7 bosses you can find in the game. One thing I will say about the boss fights that I didn't like was the fact that you have to figure out how to do damage to the boss. Like, the game gives you the most subtle of hints how to approach the enemy, but I did enjoy some of the boss fights. One was when you fought an evil version of Ty named Sly.
You've messed with Boss Cass. Now, I'm gonna mess with you.
The last boss fight with Boss Cass was not as hard to beat compared to the others, but the one part I did find difficult was when you had to remote control the boomerang through a whole obstacle course and not knowing if you're going the right direction. And after that, you beat the game and collect all the talismans, and Ty brings back his family, and it ends with a happy ending. Or does it? Summarize how I feel about this game is, you're as beautiful as the day I lost you. I really enjoyed playing the game after almost 16 years and finding it quite weird that a game from 2002 entertained me more than a game from this year. I'm really glad this game got HD remaster and wish more games got the same treatment. The only thing that I will criticize about the game is that it takes huge inspiration from Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, and the fact that the graphics don't age well, but it did come out in 2002. So, recently I've been revisiting some games I hold dear and games I completely forgot about, and experiencing them all over again, and realizing why I still remember them to this day. And also I want to tie for Smash. If you enjoyed my little rant about a game that's 19 years old, consider subscribing for more stuff like this, and have a good one.